Assalamu alaikum, boys. So as promised, I said I was bringing in a novel about Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, and I think last week we've learned a lot. And I was looking through some of your reflections on the Google quizzes, and it seems like you guys already know a lot about Salahuddin. And so, we wanted to continue with that theme. And this is a novel that I found, and I haven't read all of it, but I'm hoping it'll be good and it'll give us some idea of the history of Salahuddin al-Ayyubi. And inshallah, it'll be fun and enjoyable for all of us to read and get an understanding of. So, without further ado, here's Salahuddin. Now, before we begin reading, just wanted to show you this quick little map, okay? And this is the primary area that we're going to be talking about. Remember, Mecca is down here, Qatar is way around over here, and some of you guys have visited, well, I think most of you guys have visited Turkey. So Turkey's over here, Egypt is over here, okay? Over here is Palestine and Lebanon, okay, and Syria and Iraq, okay, and Jordan, okay? So this is the area we're going to be talking about. On the map, I'll give you guys a second just to kind of figure them out. See what you know. If you don't know, it's okay. The answers will be there in a second. We need to find the capital of Syria, the capital of Egypt, the town of Salahuddin, that's where Salahuddin was born, the capital of Palestine, and the old name for Istanbul. So let's begin. The capital of Syria is Damascus, okay, Damascus. The capital of Egypt is Qahira, right, Cairo. The town where Salahuddin was born is Tikrit in Iraq, okay? And the capital of Palestine is Jerusalem or Al-Quds. And the old name for Istanbul was Constantinople, but we call it Istanbul. All right. Now, just a brief history. At the time, the Eastern Church was ruling this area, okay, Byzantium. So the Eastern Church, okay, the Eastern Church is used to be Belad Rum, and when they fell, they took over Byzantium, and actually Turkey at the time was ruled by them. And if you've ever been to Turkey and you've seen the big red, it was a masjid, but it's not a masjid anymore. It's a big red one across from the Blue Mosque. It's called Hagia Sophia, and some of you guys did a project on it. Hagia Sophia was a church that was built by the Byzantine Empire. The emperor of the Western Church was ruling Europe. Okay, so the east was Turkey and these areas, and the west was Europe. People from Europe called the Franks were living in and ruling Palestine, and the Muslims at the time were very unhappy that Jerusalem was in Frankish hands. People remember Salahuddin today because he was a famous fighter. Yep. He was a good man. Yep. He took Jerusalem from the Franks. Yep. He was very rich. Well, he was, but that's not why people remember him. Okay? Let's begin. Chapter 1. A small weak boy. Tikrit, 1138. Help! Help! He's going to kill me! Hearing the screams, Shirkuh ran through the dark streets of the town. Suddenly he came around the corner of a building. A soldier was holding a knife to a woman's neck. Her eyes were wild and afraid. Shirkuh didn't stop to think. In a minute, the two men were fighting for the knife. In another minute, the soldier was dead. His blood bright red on the ground. Whoa. Okay. Late that night, Ayub heard a soft knock on the door. It was his brother Shirkuh asking for news. The baby hasn't come yet. The mother's having a bad time. The father looked at his brother. Why are you hurrying? Ayub, I've just killed a man, by mistake, but I was angry. Shirkuh, why did you do this? It'll be difficult for us here in Tikrit. The man's family will make trouble. See, in those days, boys, if you killed somebody, then they had the right to come and try to kill you, and it would cause problems. So Shirkuh, remember we learned about him in last week, was the uncle of Salahuddin, okay? And Salahuddin is known as Salahuddin Ayyubi. Why? Because his father was Ayyub. So Shirkuh has killed a man. What do you think they're going to do because of the problem that's just happened in Tikrit? Here we go. I couldn't stop myself. While I was coming home, a woman called out for help. A soldier was going to kill her. I didn't want to hurt him. It was an accident. But now, Governor Zengi says that all our family must leave at once, or we'll be in danger. Oh, Shirku, you're a fighter. You're stronger than most men. But when you're angry, you stop thinking. It's always been this way. But I can't leave until the child arrives. Just then they heard a cry. Ayub hurried away to the woman's side of the house. What news? He asked his sister. Good news, thank God. The child is born. But look at him. He's very small and weak. I don't think that he'll live through the night. The mother, too, is very ill, she said. There's nothing to be done. You must go now. Ayub held his new son. I'll call you Yusuf, because you must find a new life away from where you were born, like the Prophet Yusuf did in Egypt long, long ago. Now, his name was Yusuf, okay, boys. You guys know about Yusuf alayhi salam, and you know that he had to leave his father Yaqub and he had to go to Masr, and he had a very, very difficult life. And it's very, very interesting that his name is this because later on you're going to see in his life where he ends up. Okay, these are a couple words. Governor is like a wazir. Okay, he's an important man who takes care of the town or part of the country and its people. God, you guys know, um, is another word for Allah, the one who never dies, the one who decides what happens in the world. Weak, meaning not strong. The prophet, the one who speaks from Allah. And the sword, you guys know what the sword is, a long knife. You guys love swords. All right, Baalbek. Okay, Baalbek is a city in Lebanon. Okay, uh, please tell us the story again, please. The three brothers were there with their father, Ayub, in the garden of his fine house in the old town of Turan Shah. The oldest boy was next to his father. Yusuf, now 7 years old, held Al-Adil, the baby, in his arms and sat as near as he could to listen. Ayub smiled and began. 6 years before Yusuf here was born, I was near the river Tigris, catching some birds for your mother to cook for dinner. Suddenly, I saw a man on the other side of the water. He was having trouble running. He had blood all over his face and clothes, but he still carried his sword. Behind him, I could see many soldiers riding fast horses. I thought quickly. Near me was a small fishing boat. I jumped in and pushed it across the river with a long stick. Just then the soldiers started to get near the water. I called to the man and helped him into the boat. I pushed the boat quickly into the river while the soldiers started shooting at us. Arrows hit the boat, but with God's help we weren't hurt. At last we got to the other side. Dirty, wet, and tired, we ran back home. Your mother and sisters cooked us a wonderful meal that we enjoyed silently. The next morning I learned the name of my guest. It was the great Zengi himself. His army lost the battle the day before, and all his soldiers were dead or prisoners. He wanted to hurry back to Mosul to make sure that the town was safe, so I gave him new clothes and my best horse. Riding away, he said, I will never forget your help, and will always be a true friend to you and your family. What was the horse like, father? Asked Yusuf. All you think about is horses, Yusuf, said Turan Shah. He was the brother of the wind. It's good to give the with open hands. Zengi has been our friend since then. I'm governor of Baalbek, and we're safe and comfortable here because of him. So now, because of Ayub, Salahuddin's father, becoming friends with Governor Zengi, now he's also a governor, and he's the big, kind of the rais of the city, the Baalbek. Okay, an arrow, you guys know what an arrow is. A guest, you guys know what a guest is. A battle, you guys know what a battle is. And safe, meaning not dangerous. Okay, all right. Damascus in Syria in 1152. Polo is a game that they play with the horses and they hit the ball. It's a very, very common game, and they say it's the sport of kings. Okay, Yusuf, you must come now. It's time to go to school. Oh, Al Adil, I don't want to go. Look at my horse. I need. I don't know why Turan Shah says he's bad. He's going to be very good at polo. He always knows what to do. The boy 14, the boy of 14 rode quickly up to the ball with the stick. So Yusuf is playing polo. Oh, this is the story where they were telling before, where his father Ayub is telling him the story of how he met Governor Zengi. Sorry. So the 14-year-old was riding quickly with the ball to the ball with the stick in his hand. He hit it hard and sent it flying over to his brother Al Adil. Al Adil stopped the ball with his foot. Father says that you're the best rider of all of us, Yusuf. That's why when Turan Shah couldn't do anything with Anid, father gave the horse to you. But you must go to school or you'll be in terrible trouble. Don't forget what father said the last time that you were late. Yusuf jumped down from his horse's back and took him back to the house. Then he ran as fast as he could for school. The old teacher looked up angrily when Yusuf hurried into the room. He was very late. You'll have to stay this afternoon to do all the work that you've missed, boy. It's kind of like me, right? I'm giving you guys good attentions. Okay. Yusuf sat next to Turan Shah. Where are we? He asked. Turan Shah showed Yusuf the words in the Holy Quran that the boys were reading. It's the story of the Prophet Yusuf and how his brothers left him in the desert because they didn't like him. He smiled not very kindly. Stop talking and learn. The teacher's stick hit both boys. So the teacher is hitting them with a stick. It hurt. Turan Shah cried out, but Yusuf said nothing. What am I going to do with you, Yusuf? Said his father later that day. Your teacher tells me that you're clever and quick to learn, but that you're never at school. I know that you're always with the horses, but you're not a child anymore. You must learn to be a man and a soldier. I'm going to send you to my brother Shirku. You know that now he's an important general working for Zengi's son Nuruddin in Aleppo, in Halab. Can I take Anid with me? No. Since we came to Damascus, you've only played. Now you must work. Get ready. We leave in an hour. So his dad's being very strict with him. Let's see what happens to Yusuf. That's the end of chapter one, boys. I think this is a really good story. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. These are a couple of the questions. I put these in a Google quiz. I'm gonna send them out to you. Yeah, feel free to go through it and do it. And I'll be marking it for a listening mark. Okay. All right. These are the questions. Cool. All right. I think I'm gonna record another one and I'll send it out to